And it looks like his face is covered in soot. And he looks down and sees you and says, "Ah, yes, the breakfast. Well, bring it up then." And then the face disappears from the open doorway.
I don't have any food on me, do I? I mean, I guess I have my travel rations.
You're gonna feed this guy jerky and heart attack?
Actually, it'll be a minute. Let me go find that. Did they leave us anything to eat when we were in the cave, or what did they say to do for food?
No, they have all manner of fresh fruits and vegetables. I mean, you were given a modest meal last night.
Did we see anyone after we woke up this morning, or did anyone talk to us, or did we just kind of make our way out on our own?
A few of the gnomes that had business down in the stores, and then anybody you interacted with on your way over to this tree. So was that the plan, to go back to the store and try to find something for breakfast for this gnome?
Sure.
What do you scrounge up?
You know, fruit, water, anything something basic.
Something basic, okay. You bring it back, and door's still open. Rope ladder is still hanging there.
I'll climb up the rope ladder.
You climb up into this room, and he's wearing an apron and nothing else. And his back is facing to you when you climb up in. So you get a good look of his soot-covered gnomish butt. Looks like he's cleaning something up. Looks like part of this room has exploded very recently. A weird, thick, kind of oily substance coats one of the walls and one of the tables. You see broken equipments strewn about. Copper tubes, broken glass, overturned beakers and pipes and things. And as you approach, he swings back around. In one hand, he's got an oily rag that he's been scrubbing his countertop with. And he sees you, looks up and down, and says, "Did you get into my enlargement mushroom, son? You look larger than I remember."
No, I'm actually a traveler. My name is Tarin. I'm sorry, did you mistake me for someone else? And I'll offer him the fruits and whatnot I brought for breakfast.
I thought you were the boy that brought my breakfast around.
What's his name?
Imagine that. You ask his name?
Yeah.
Oh, he introduces himself as Kilfiz. He's the herbalist and alchemist.
Did I ever actually get proficiency with alchemy tools, or did our alchemist disappear before that could finish?
Evander disappeared before you finished it, and that's the last we heard of it. So.
Yep. That's what I thought. Okay.
Kilfiz comes over to see what you're offering. And when he sees that it's like a couple of plums and some water, I mean, he accepts it, but he looks disappointed. Now, I requested cinnamon rolls and poached eggs, but this will do, this will do.
What was the boy who brings you breakfast's name?
And he tells you whatever the boy's name is.
I mean, I could go try and find him if you want.
He says, "Come to think of it, I don't think I've seen him for 3 weeks. Have I not eaten for 3 weeks?" He turns back around and says,
"What have you been working on?"
What day is it?"
I actually might not know, since I was unconscious for some amount of time.
He says, "Yes,
I don't know how long I was out.
I can sympathize. I spend much of my days unconscious as well. Roughly 1/3 of the time that I can tell. But I'm trying to find a cure for it. I'm trying to... Oh, I'm all mixed up here." And he sits down and he starts shoving the fruit into his face.
Do you mind if I look over your workshop?
He says, "Well, it's all in disarray now. Is there anything in particular you're looking for? A potion, a tincture?"
What you're working on.
He says, "I don't rightly remember. Put something on last night to percolate. Popped sometime while I was sleeping. And I woke up to the mess. I need to keep better notes." And you see, against one of the far walls, another ladder leading up to the next floor above, which you surmise to be his bedroom.
I'm going to ask him if he's ever heard of, and I'll describe the dragon powder. A substance that highly explosive, black powder, kind of a foul, sulfury smell. Lights quickly, but if you get too much of it together, it just goes. And that's basically all I was able to learn about it before it disappeared. But not in an explosion, which is strange.
And he shakes his head. Says, nope, nope. Never heard of its like. Very interesting stuff, though. Have you brought any with you? I'd like to examine it.
I'll have to check with my friend, actually. I maybe have some.
I don't think any of you have any on your person.
What? Nope.
I do.
Eldove does?
But I don't have the thing that I was talking about, the whatchamacallit. But yeah, I picked up Creation, so I've been carrying a small amount of it since, because I need to cast Creation.
Oh, right.
It's just a regent.
Okay. Well, and he starts walking you through some of the more common potions and tinctures that he mixes up for the village folk here. So I don't think I'll be opening today, though. I've got to put all this back together. Damn shame. If only I'd kept better notes.
Hey, it's almost like you don't even know what was lost.
And he seems to perk up a little bit. He says, you know what? When you put it that way, it's almost funny.
Well, if I see the boy you should bring to breakfast, I'll be sure to remind him that he should do that.
I don't know.
I might come back with a
him.
sample of that powder.
Yes, I'd be very interested to see that. Very interested if you could bring that around. Highly flammable, you say. Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Doesn't look like anything you can't handle.
So then I'll have to put on the red hat.
The red hat.
Says it's all very proper. It's all very organized. Put the red hat on when working with explosives. The green hat when working with corrosives. The blue hat when working with anything that disperses into the air. And he seems to be lost in thought.
Yeah, Tarin, that makes perfect sense to me.
I don't remember why I have a yellow hat.
Electricity.
And he looks at you and says, "Elect what now?"
Thunder, electricity, lightning.
He says, damn it, boy, I'm an alchemist, not a sorcerer. No, don't do magic here. I don't trust it.
Fair enough.
He says, there are rules to it. There's a framework for it all, and it all works, and it all works in a certain way, and sometimes it doesn't work the way that you expect it should work. This is like that damned Zilbis walks around creating things out of thin air and whatnot, but it's not magic. There's this, like I say, a framework to it, the rules. That's why I'm keeping notes. And he starts collecting some of the scorched and blackened pieces of paper that are strewn about the place. Begins to pile them up neatly.
Are any of them legible?
Do you read Gnomish?
No.
Then not to you.
Okay.
He's speaking common pretty well, though.
Okay, I'll tell him if I see the boy, I'll let him know that he should probably bring him food at some point, and I'll leave.
And yes, and don't forget the explosive powder. I'll have my red hat when you come back. And pants. I'll be wearing pants. Probably. Eldove.
Yo.
What are you looking for in the market?
I am looking for... Well, actually... Let's do the reasonable thing when going to a strange market in a strange place.
Okay.
And cast Detect Magic.
Nothing. No, you see, there's no magical wares for sale.
Then I will be looking for, just something that would make sense as a gift.
A gift for who?
Maybe gnomish knickknacks.
I mean, you see the guy selling the magic puzzle boxes.
Am I still standing over there?
Yeah, I'm gonna look over at the puzzle boxes.
And he insists that they're magical and they work on mysterious principles and whatnot, but they're definitely not magic. It's a wooden box of some kind.
Am I standing there with the one I just bought?
No, you ditched them. Remember, you're the worst friend ever.
I know, I'm terrible.
And I mean, they're clearly not magical, but they're kind of cool.
Yeah. And
you know who would be into something like this? I bet Zook would love one of these boxes.
Your good friend Zook. Where is that guy?
So I'm gonna pick up a puzzle box.
And he'll sell it to you for 3 silver, unless you have anything more interesting to offer.
No, I'll offer him 3 silver.
And you leave where his little table was set up to go find Zook, because you bought him this very thoughtful gift. And as you're walking away, one of the gnomes calls out to you. You turn around, and you see him, and he's leaning up against one of the shorter trees at the north edge of the village.
If this is the whatchamacallit guy, I don't have that stuff. I checked my sheet. I don't have it.
No, it's not the whatchamacallit guy. This is a gnome that nobody else has met yet.
Okay.
And after you make eye contact with him, he comes over, kind of just saunters over and looks up at you. This is paying with real coin. Very rare in this village. Looking at him, you're not sure exactly why, because you're not 100% up and up on the intricacies of the various gnomish bloodlines, but you get the sense that this gnome's not from this village.
Does he remind me of Zook in any way? By which I mean, does he look shifty?
Define shifty.
Shady, twitchy.
I mean, he's not twitching. He's not like Parkinson's gnome.
I'm not. You know what I mean. I'm not thinking he's a Parkinson's gnome.
It's Michael J. Gnome. That's awful.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh wow.
Wow. Does he have a disturbing absence of color?
I mean, he's dressed in forest colors, forest greens and browns, like most forest gnomes are. He looks sly.
I'm just saying.
If you'd have to put a, he looks very. He carries himself confidently.
I'm just saying, Eldove is a noble who walks around marketplaces. He knows how to spot a marketplace thief.
Does he?
I don't know. Does he have
Probably.
any money left?
What's your passive perception?
13.
13?
But this would probably be active. And it would probably be insight.
Alright, roll it. Roll an insight check. Look at that.
This gnome seems like he's on the up and up.
So, by the end of the conversation, you realize he's stolen your shoes. Like, right off your feet. And you're kind
That's
of
pretty
impressed.
amazing.
No, he strikes you, if you had to put a word to it, sly.
Alright.
He introduces himself. He says, "My name's Yanvar." He says, "I'm a business gnome."
Oh? What kind of business?
Spirits. He says that he came to this village because there is a particular type of ale that is made here. And he's been trying to barter with the people that make it for more than a year now. But they guard their recipe jealously. Says, "I take it you're not from around here. You're too tall for one thing. Have you hit your head on many door frames since you've been in town?"
Just the one, but it was enough to make me think that maybe I'm camping out tonight.
He asks you to come back around the tree that he was sitting next to.
Around the tree?
Okay. Because he was leaning against a tree when you first saw him. He wants you to come around the other side of it. So you're kind of off to the side of the market.
All right.
I want to remind
Did
you.
you get my IM?
You rolled a 1 on this insight check. Oh, did I get an IM? Hold on.
Oh, it was kind of a joke, but now I'm curious if you got it.
I got it. Okay.
I didn't know if that was.
Yeah, I said all right.
And he says, "This is a very delicate situation because I want to buy something that I'm being told is not for sale. But men like us, we know that everything is for sale. Do we not?"
No. Like, I'm gonna say that's an interesting viewpoint.
I'm going to, with my apologies, subject you to a test of character. Reaches into one of his pockets, and he pulls out 3 keys. The first one's made of wood. It's like a gnarled oaken key. The second one is a tarnished silver key. And the last one is the most beautiful. It's a shimmering, semi-transparent glass key.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds the 3 of them out to you. Or up to you, I guess. You're much taller than he is. He says, "Of these 3, which would you take?"
There's just 3 keys?
He's holding 3 keys in his hand. Given the option, which would you take?
What's the option? Are you giving me these keys?
He's saying if you had to choose between these 3, if you were being offered these, which one would you select?
To be honest, I'd probably select none of them, because being offered 3 keys, you only need that to happen to you once or twice before you start thinking that that's suspicious.
Suspicious. Well, he puts the keys back in his pocket. Says, certainly did not mean to offend.
Oh, don't worry. You didn't ask me to use the key on some ancient tomb in the middle of the desert. So, we're still fine.
He looks like he's trying to figure you out. He says, "So, given the option, you would select none of them."
Yeah, I don't know that I would need any of the keys. Besides, I'm not going to sit around trying keys in every single lock I come across.
That's very wise. For what use is a key if you do not know what it unlocks? Very cunning indeed.
Eldove looks bemused at this, but okay.
Says, "I believe the 2 of us could make some money, my friend. If you have a mind to."
Depends on how the money would be made.
Dishonestly, truth be told. Again, the thing I want to buy is not for sale. Your job would be to secure it for me nonetheless.
Well, it depends on how it's secured. I'm not willing to harm anyone getting an ale recipe.
He says, "Unfortunately, I have gotten myself trespassed from the establishment that sells this particular ale. You've heard the Just One More Tavern, that tree yonder?"
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, I have been unable to purchase for myself a glass of the aforementioned brew. Says, "But I have here a magic bag." And from out of one of his other pockets, he produces a small bag. Little larger than a coin pouch. You still have your detect magic up?
No, it's only lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay. Says, "I have here a magic bag." Says, "and I will sell you this bag for 5 pieces of platinum." And he says, "Here's how the magic
okay.
works. He pulls one finger at a time, one of the gloves, off of his hand. Puts it inside the bag. Pulls the drawstring shut. Holds it very tight. And then, with his now naked hand, he does a magical incantation with it. And he speaks a word. Do you speak Gnomish?
Yes.
You do, actually. You know it as it's a word in the Gnomish language, but it doesn't have a particular meaning. It's an ancient magic word that probably meant something in ancient Gnomish, but in the modern vernacular, it has no definition per se. But you know that it's associated with various types of Gnomish magic.
Is that the sort of thing that would be used as an activation on a magic item?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a command word. In your experience. And after he speaks his incantation and makes the motions with his hand, instantly you see the weight of the bag goes slack, and he's holding the glove in his hand. And when he does this, he uses his other hand to reach back in the bag and pull it inside out to show you that it's empty. He says, "So, I will sell you this magic bag for 5 pieces of platinum. Because all you have to do is go to the tavern, order some Zoderbrow, place the mug inside the magic bag, and draw it shut. And that's it. Once this service is rendered, I will give to you as payment 20 pieces of platinum."
Wait, so just to be clear here, you want me to do you a favor and pay you for the benefit of doing so?
He says, "Well, I don't know you, friend. As I judge your character to be well enough, but this is a very dear magic bag. So I can't just hand it to you and walk away."
You know what? You're right. We don't know each other. Why trust overmuch? I'll just sit here, I'll cast Detect Magic, and if the bag is magical, I'll be happy to pay you the 5 platinum.
The bag and the gloves are magical. The gloves that he's wearing.
Okay. Yeah. What school of magic is the bag?
I don't know. I never think that far ahead when I put magic items in the campaign.
Is it a school that makes sense for something disappearing?
Sure.
It's necromancy.
Yeah, it's
yeah, that's what is it necromancy?
Is it illusion, I guess, should be the answer. I don't care really about the other schools.
Is it illusion? Is it illusion?
The gloves are.
Okay, yeah, this guy's full of shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy this dude's magic bullshit bag. But I wonder how long he's had this bag.
Do you ask him?
Yeah.
He says he came into possession of it in his travels these past 5 years. He's accumulated many different kinds of magical knickknacks throughout his adventures.
So wait, he wants me to buy this bag, right?
Right.
And go to a tavern and buy some ale.
Right.
And then put the ale in the bag, thus stealing the ale.
That's the plan.
And why don't I just order some ale?
Do you ask him?
Then they could just bring it to me. Yeah.
It's because if you order this ale with the intent of taking it out of the tavern, they won't sell it to you. It's that dear to them. If you don't drink it on the premises, they don't allow you to take it. They don't ship it anywhere. It's a family secret, they say, handed down from so-and-so's great-great-great-grandfather, who presumably was a dwarf.
Whoa.
He says, I want to sell this recipe on a grander scale so that the peoples of all of the duchies may enjoy it.
You know what? I have no intention of going through this thing, but it does seem like a really fun use of 5 platinum pieces, so I'm going to buy this bag.
Okay. Do you tell him you're not going to use it to steal the ale?
No.
No. So, and he counts your 5 platinum, and he hands you the bag.
All right. And hey, I'm in. One second. And I take a good note of his face, and I walk away.
And he thanks you for your time. He tells you that he will speak the command word at midnight tonight, and upon receipt of a mug of ale, he will find you on tomorrow and pay you for this service 20 pieces of platinum.
All right.
What are you going to put in the bag?
Oh, absolutely nothing. I go back to the home and I cast Identify on the bag. I want to see what kind of bullshit bag I got here.
Okay, so you're going back to where?
I'm gonna go back to. Well, this is a tree, right?
Where at? Number 1?
Yeah.
No, it's just a tiny little wooden shack in that area of the woods that's been cleared away, and inside has a stone staircase spiraling downward. Once you get underground, you see the tree roots and whatnot poking through the walls. It's not worked stone underneath. It's like a packed soil floor. The structural integrity of the place is a little questionable. But no, that building there and its counterpart over here are not built into trees.
Alright, well, whatever. I'm just gonna head back to the room, cast Identify on this bag.
Okay. Then upon casting Identify on the bag, you learn that it works pretty much as advertised. If you place an item in the bag and speak the command word, the item is teleported from the bag to your hand.
To whose hand?
To whoever speaks the word. And also casting Identify imparts to you this command word, which you did not hear from Yanvar.
Okay.
So basically, if you store
anything, pretty useful.
Anything you store in this bag, Yanvar could just steal from you from forever.
Yeah. Is there any way to change the command word?
You have no idea.
Probably have to just spell it first and put your own on it.
Well, then I'd have to enchant it.
Yeah.
It'd just be a bag.
Then it'd just be a bag.
Well, that's what I mean is you got to make it a bag first.
All right. Well, I'm sure we can find something hilarious to do with this bag.
I've got some grenades left.
Oh shit!
Yeah, send him a grenade. All right.
That's not a serious suggestion. That's out of character.
Afternoon actions. Everybody, go ahead and put yourself where you'd like to be for the afternoon.
Are the Rangers? Do the Rangers come back after like a morning hunt?
They're probably back in the evening.
Oh.
So I would say to Arik, I'll meet you at the Rangers in the evening for evening actions.
All right.
All right. So in the meantime,
there.
yeah. I mean, if I know they're not going to be there, I'm not going to go there. So in the meantime, I'm going to go to the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah, tavern sounds like a good idea.
I'm also going to go to the tavern.
I'll go to the tavern then. I was actually looking for Eldove, so.
Wait, are we
Orphan's
all in
going
the
shopping.
tavern?
Nope,
Yeah.
Orphan's going shopping.
Orphan's such a loner. I love it. Hey, Eldove, check out this sweet puzzle box I found.
Hey, check out this magic bag.
Oh, that is way cooler.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, this shady guy wants me to steal some ale. Speaking of which, you want to go with me to talk to the tavern's owners?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm starting with Orphan because Nick's at the top of the list, so you guys have fun.
Narks!
Talking amongst yourselves. Going on in the afternoon, the village is a lot more lively than it was early in the morning. And you don't get the same reception from the rest of the gnomes that you got from Golly this morning. I mean, people look at you very curiously, maybe even suspiciously, but you don't get quite that extreme of a reaction from any of the other gnomes. Are you looking for anything particular at the market?
Yes, I'm only here. I'm only at the market for one thing.
Okay.
I'm looking to see if anyone's selling some gloves.
Selling gloves?
Yeah.
You do find... Yeah, you do find a gnome who is selling pairs of gloves, but they won't fit your hands. They are gnome-sized. He says he supposes if you need them made, he can take them on commission, and...
I say, how long do you think that would take to make them?
I don't know how long it takes to make a pair of gloves. 3 days.
I'll pass then. It says, I'm told that I only would need them until tonight. After that, I don't suppose it'll make much of a difference.
And he looks confused and asks you what you need them for in the first place.
I say, I was told by the village druid not to touch any of the trees.
Kind of looks very confused indeed. Says, not to touch any of the trees? How do you travel through the woods and come to a gnomish village without touching any trees?
I say, well, it's going to be difficult. It would be easier if I could have some gloves.
Well, I wish that I could help you. So I don't know that I would put too much stock in what that crazy druid says anyway. Says, a lot of us don't think she has her head screwed on quite right, if you take my meaning. She's always seeing shadows and devilry everywhere, she says. We just lost Nick, didn't we?
No, I'm still... Hello?
Yeah,
he just drops out of...
He just dropped out of tabletop for no reason.
Yeah, I'm having a really, really tough time keeping connected top today. I don't know why.
Yeah, he says that Golly's always crying about some manner of shadowy and devilry and necromancy. She really dislikes the necromancy.
I say, well, that I feel, wow, what's going on here? That makes me feel a little bit better, but still, I'd like to do what I can to placate her.
She says, well, she has a communal in the one evening out of the week. The gnomes that follow her particular brand of, and I'm saying this in all friendliness, craziness. She calls it the cadence of the wood, as though that makes any sense at all.
The cadence of the wood?
That's the power she serves. She forsakes the... And he rattles off the names of all the traditional gnomish gods. The ones that... You've probably heard Zook invoke their name in vain whenever he stubs his little toes. She forsakes the traditional gods in favor of this so-called cadence. The very... How does she put it? The balance and essence of nature. Doesn't make any sense to me. I make gloves.
I say, where is this held? Where and when?
And he indicates the clearing in between the two markets here. Where there's just this giant tree stump.
Okay.
And he thinks that there will be such a communal in a couple of days' time.
Okay.
Certainly before the festival.
I'll thank him for the information.
Looking for anything else in the market?
No, that's it.
You are approached. Going in the late afternoon, after some browsing and a long conversation about gloves, you're approached by a gnomish child. And he holds up to you a rolled piece of parchment. So I was asked to give this to you, devil lady.
I say, oh, and who asked you to do this? I say as I take the parchment.
And he indicates the horrible Warlock tree. Crazy red-haired fellow in the tree. Do you take the parchment from him?
Last I heard was crazy redhead.
Yeah, the crazy red-haired fellow in that tree yonder. He indicates the tree that you have marked as horrible Warlock tree right here.
Okay, all right. I say, well, thank you, and funny coincidence that that he should be calling for me since he was going to be my next.
Okay,
And I'll read the parchment.
and it just says that you're cordially invited to brunch and tea at the tree of the alchemist and herbalist Kelfiz of Farsevere Village.
All right. I'll head over to Kelfiz's.
And it's much like I described at Destil earlier. You've got the rope ladder leading up to the trap door, and you've got the string next to it attached to the bell. I can't tell if Nick can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I ring the bell.
Okay. A few seconds later, the trapdoor opens, and Kelfiz looks down at you. You see his face light up when he sees you and says, "Ah, the Devil Lady! Thank you for accepting my invitation. Yes, come up, come up. I've got a good tea on. We'll have, crumpets, whatever they're called." And his face disappears from the trapdoor.
Okay, I'll climb up the rope ladder.
And the room looks considerably less destroyed now that he's kind of set it to order, and he's wearing considerably more pants, thank goodness.
Good.
Although he's still wearing the filthy apron. He's got like a tray of what looks to be burned cookies or biscuits or something unidentifiable on a platter sitting at a table, tucked away in one corner of the room. And you hear a tea kettle whistling off somewhere.
I'll take one of the cookies.
And it's burnt, hard, and inedible. But he insists he made them fresh. Especially for you. Especially for you. It's always nice to share a few words and a nice meal with an honored guest. What was your name?
I say, oh, well, I'm called Horned Orphan.
And he invites you to sit down in a chair that you could not possibly sit in, even if you tried.
I'll ask if he minds if I sit on the floor.
He's, well, it takes all kinds. I mean, sit where you're comfortable, I suppose.
All right, I'll kneel down on the floor.
He says, and you'll forgive me if I stare, but when I heard that there was a Tiefling wandering the village, he says, it's been decades since I've seen one of your kind. Many, many years. Very interesting indeed that you would come to these woods.
I say, oh, that's interesting. Who was the last that you saw?
Doesn't know the name. I only saw him from far away. I was in the woods, gathering mushrooms. Do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
The spotted ones that make you see colors? Those are my favorites.
Orphan looks a little green at that.
Says, but where are my manners? My tea kettle is whistling away. And he stands up and hobbles over to the back of his laboratory area. He says, yes, but like I was saying, I've only saw him from very far away while I was out gathering mushrooms and had a sour look about him. And I've heard stories of the existence of such creatures, but I didn't get the sense that I was meant to approach this one, and so I didn't. And he wanders back to the table, and he pours out some tea. He pours his own into a gnome-sized teacup, which is too small for you, so he has a beaker that he has cleaned out, and he fills it up with just steaming hot tea. That's a very, very, almost sickly sweet smell to it. And then he sits back down. Says, and so, what brings you to Farsevere Village?
I'll take a sip of the tea first.
Okay. And
Does it taste much like it smells?
A little bit, yeah. It's not bad though. Very strong.
I'll compliment him on the tea and then say, "Oh, I came here along with my companions. We were brought by Kelfiz."
Zilbus.
Oh,
Yeah,
Zilbus.
this-
This is Kelfiz.
Yeah.
Zilbus.
He says, Zilbus. I suppose I owe him a grudging thank you then for putting me in contact with you. Because I don't much like having contact with Zilbus if I can at all help it. But he has his uses, I suppose.
I love that Orphan is going around telling everyone she sees, "Oh yeah, I'm here because of Zilbus." That's the reason there's a devil lady walking around in your city.
And he urges you,
say
please,
so-
please, drink up, have another crumpet.
I'll try to bite down into another crumpet.
Now, see, in second edition, it specifically says that tieflings can digest things that no other creatures can. Like, they can eat lumps of coal and just... So I don't think Orphan would actually have any problem eating this horribly inedible...
I'll try it. And I'll ask him, so what is it specifically you wanted to talk about?
He says, well, it wasn't just pleasantries that I decided to invite you up today. He says, I'm on the verge of a very, very important breakthrough. He says, I'm this close. So I saw it in my notes this morning after the boy brought me up my breakfast. He brought me the wrong thing. Can you even imagine? What am I paying him for? He said, but I'm this close to finding the formula for the world's most potent and permanent love potion. A potion so powerful that were you to drink it, you would feel a gravitational pull of the affection of all people around you. Are you continuing to eat and drink?
Yeah.
As you're drinking the tea, about halfway through this beaker of tea, you start feeling very stuffy. Like allergies. You have to clear your throat more often as you talk. And roll a perception check real quick.
Okay. Alright, that's a 16.
And as you notice that you're starting to be more and more congested throughout the conversation, you notice that Kel'Thuz hasn't touched his tea at all.
It wouldn't be a town if Orphan didn't get drugged by somebody.
It's true.
She's immune to poison, though.
Yeah, I am immune to poison and disease.
That's true.
So whatever this
That's
is,
why you're getting. It's
probably neither of those things. I'll once I notice this is happening, I'll at least stop drinking and eating.
Okay. But he says,
I say, and I'll ask, and what can I do to aid you in the creation of this potion?
he says, well, I've done all the calculations, you see, all the math is in place, and I do believe very fervently that the one missing piece of the puzzle, the last ingredient I need, is Tiefling mucus. You should be feeling right now. You should be feeling the clogging of the sinuses. And he describes all of the horrible things that are going on in your face. Roll me a Constitution save, DC 15.
Wow, this is quite that cold-inducing.
Yeah. Alright, I'll pass that.
And you feel very quickly that just comes upon you a very itchy sensation that makes you want to sneeze, but you manage to suppress it. And he says, so, here's what I need from you. And he goes back over to his little table, and he brings you a much larger glass container around it. And he says, you'll notice throughout the day that you'll have the impulse to sneeze or hack or cough or wheeze, and I just want you to fill this with as much as you can, if you don't mind.
I'll nod stealthily and say, I'll do that, but on the condition you can only have what I produce on the condition that I get some of what you create.
Oh, he says, but of course. He says, I have all manner of potions that adventuring types would be interested in.
Well, it's a deal then.
And I would offer to shake your hand, but you're a little sniffly. I wouldn't want to catch whatever's going around.
I'll move my tail up to him so he can shake that.
And he shakes your tail.
Question: if you have a violent sneeze, does that trigger a hellish rebuke?
No. No, the command word for hellish rebuke is not a violent sneeze.
And he thanks you for your time and says, "Oh, if you see the boy who was supposed to bring my breakfast around, send him back up, will you? Have to have a stern talking to with him. I don't even know what I'm paying him for."
Alright, so I'll take the container with me as I go down about my way, sneezing into it at intervals.
Orphan's such a good sport.
And you get a lot of strange looks. Stranger than before.
Ew.
So everybody else went back to the tavern for lunch, yes?
Yeah, sure.
Sounds about right.
Sir.
You all crowd into the Just One More Tavern, and the place is pretty bustling today. The place is pretty, especially around midday when they're going to serve their midday meal. Not the kind of tavern that you're mostly accustomed to on your adventures. It doesn't cater to traveling types. They don't get a lot of out-of-town visitors here.
Gee, with the with the crazy illusion-y barrier, you'd think that.
Yeah, that's the only visitors the town gets are the people who know about the barrier, who would be other gnomes. That's mostly the patrons of the tavern are gnomes from surrounding villages who have business here in Farsevere, who are passing through from one manner or another. So, I mean, you guys can take up around a table. Very uncomfortable for you Longshanks, all of you.
I imagine Zook has been using booster seats in most of the other taverns, so he's quite pleased with this turn of events.
And I don't know what the opposite of a booster seat is. So what is everybody's goal at the tavern? Like, just to have a meal and then move on with life?
I want to see if I can get a sample of Tagiapaya.
Okay.
I want to rat out this dude to the owners of the tavern.
Do you say something to Zook? Because you were
Yeah,
starting.
yeah. We were all talking about it before we went in, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess Zook's just gonna kind of sell it all of like, well, what is there to gain by ratting him out?
Humor. My 5 platinum back.
You think you're really going to get the platinum back when you learn to rat him out?
See, now here's the thing, is I'm pretty confident that I can take this dude.
Yeah, but I don't know that we should be taking anyone in this village right now, shady or not. And, you know, I don't know if there's a thief code, but I'm pretty sure ratting someone out just for the giggles would not be a part of it.
It's a good thing I'm not a thief, then.
I mean, I'm all for getting your platinum back, though I'm confused as to why you gave it to him in the first place, and bringing him to justice. Like,
well, let me
that's
ask
fine
you,
with me.
Well, let me ask you this. Because you're always talking about business.
I'll slap
and
my hand around Arik, and I'll just be like, that's exactly why I gave him the platinum.
Well, and Zook will say to Eldove, he's like, well, you keep talking. I know you've been doing a lot of, like, trade, like, especially in wine and stuff. Is there no reason you wouldn't want to do this trade?
Yeah, you're right. That's an excellent idea, Zook. I bet that when I turn in this guy who's trying to steal their ale, they might be willing to do it with me legally.
Okay, now
Zook, this is why we keep you around.
Now you have an angle. I don't mind ratting the guy out. I just want there to be an angle to it. And also, I want to use that bag. If we can get this guy busted, we might be able to make use of this bag.
Oh, speaking of using the bag, what do you think would be the best item to put in there at midnight? I was thinking an owl.
If by owl you mean your owl, so you can literally see the look on his face, I'm down with that.
Yeah, that's the plan, I'm thinking.
So we're just trolling this guy now. I love it.
Wow. You guys are dicks.
Yeah, that is.
Eldove, can you speak through your owl when you're looking through its eyes?
Let's find out.
No, he can do that. We've done that before.
Yeah, yeah, you have spoken through your owl before. I just want your owl to pop up in his hand, and I just want you to say, boo, and tell us what the look on his face is like.
I don't think I can actually do that, though, because that was before we found out that he can only use touch spells.
Hey, it's not important. Let's go talk to the tavern owner. You can figure out what your owl can do later.
Yeah. Let's go talk to the tavern owner.
So the two of you are going to go off and talk to the tavern owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? This
I don't know,
sounds like
Eric, you want to come?
Yeah, I'm all about bringing people to justice. Sounds like a good idea.
Not Khalil. Khalil hates justice.
He's so muted.
Bill keeps calling us assholes. I don't think he's interested.
Tarin is actually going to say, do you still have any of that dragon powder on you?
Khalil will shake his head and just...
Oh yeah, why? Do you need some?
Yeah, if you could make some, I was going to show it to the local alchemist.
Okay, but don't, like, let them know. This is only going to last for a little while. This isn't permanent dragon powder.
Okay.
How long does it last?
I think it's a plant. It's mostly... Wait just a second. Alright, vegetable matter lasts for a day, stone or crystal. It's made of partial stone, so 12 hours.
Okay, yeah, plenty of time then. So Khalil and Tarin remain at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would still, at some point, like to try to get pie.
Like you just want them to bring you just the naked, fresh fruit? Or do you want like a dessert made out of it? Or
Do they have pie?
Yeah, if they have dessert made out of it, I'd totally be down for that.
Tarin, how much do you need?
How much can you make?
How much do you need?
Well, I mean, just enough.
Because I can make a lot.
Let's go with 10 grams to start.
I tell you what. How about you give me some kind of bag or something to put it in, and I'll just fill it up.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you have this magic bag.
Yeah, but we can't count on him setting fire to it, is the problem.
So you guys go off to talk to the inn's proprietor.
Mm-hmm.
Tarin and Khalil sitting at the table. Entering the tavern is the Gnomish elder, and you know he's the elder because he's older than any gnome you've seen in your life. You didn't think
So much beard.
before now that you'd ever see a gnome with like a hunchback walking with a stoop, but this man is, and you have no idea how he traverses the ladders in and out of the various tree houses of this gnome village.
Is he older than Granny Jam?
Yes.
Gnome?
If he weren't, then Granny Jam would be the elder.
Okay. Jocelyn, that's her name.
Jocelyn.
I like Granny Jam.
Most of his weight he's leaning on this cane. And when he sees you, and you're easy to pick out in this room, clearly.
Yeah.
He walks over to your table and introduces himself as Maros, the village elder.
Pleasure to meet you, Maros. Khalil. And this is my captain, Tarin.
Captain Tarin. Captain of what, may I ask?
Ship. Adric's Honor. It's a privateer vessel out of Dunfoss.
I'm quite interested to know what business brought a group of privateers from the oceans of Dunfoss into my wood. He doesn't say it unkindly, just matter-of-factly.